Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, which that sounds weird because this is my first ever YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about how I edit my Instagram photos, which is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Over the years, my style, yes, and the style, like the way I edit my Instagram photos has changed a lot. I used to only use apps on my phone, and then now I have been using Lightroom. So that's like the main portion of what we're going to be talking about today. Is I just looked into the light and I'm blinded. Wow. How I edit my Instagram photos, obviously, but how to use Lightroom, because I feel like every time I tell someone, like, they ask me like, oh, how do you edit your Instagram photos, and I say Lightroom, I feel like a lot of people don't really know A, what that is, B, how to use it. So a little background into Lightroom. I probably purchased it 2 years ago. Actually, I didn't purchase it. I don't know why I said I purchased it, but I got it like 2 years ago for the store I was working at in Augusta. And then I wasn't using presets. I was just like playing around with like the little settings on the side. But then probably like a year ago, I got the Vsco presets that are online. Those are only like $50. So they're definitely more reasonable than the Tezza presets I'm using now. The Tezza presets are like $130. So unless you're like feeling very specifically like strong about editing and like you really care a lot about the way your photos look, I would say maybe wait on those, especially because like Etsy has a lot of different like presets you can buy that are a lot cheaper. They're like $10 to $20, and you can play around with them and figure out if you even want it. Lightroom, you can pay like $10 a month, so you can figure out first if you even like it before you pay like the whole, like when I got it, I got the like the disc or whatever, so I still have it because I like changed laptops and everything, but that's not an issue. Even if you pay for it, it'll update. It's like My Adobe or something like that you can pay for like, I think even just a month, and if you hate it then you don't have to keep it. But anyways, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take this photo that I'm gonna put right here, hopefully, and we are going to import that into Lightroom. So then we will import it and then go to develop. Click that Tezza 2 button. So it's gonna make it look very orange, not really the color that you want. So usually I take the temperature and I drag it down to about 19, 20, 19 usually. And then take the exposure and kind of drag it up a little. Then we're gonna go down to the orange and drag it to probably like 47, and the yellow usually down a little bit too. And you can see how playing with this will give you different effects. So maybe to like 79, and then down to sharpening. I don't usually want it as sharp, so I'll usually drag it to like 21, and then the noise reduction, just make that go up a little bit, just because I don't want it to be, I want it to be a little soft. And then I don't like any grain on my photos. I just find that they make them very I don't know, you work so hard for a photo to be clear, and then you add grain, which like I like grain on like some photos, like for my Insta story and stuff, but I feel like when I'm posting it on like my actual feed, I like things to look like super clear and like soft, which is kind of contradicting, but I don't know, smooth kind of. So I feel like anyways, not to go on a tangent about grain, but I just take the grain off, but you can leave it on there if you want. And then so the photo isn't gonna look exactly like how it looks obviously once you get it on Instagram, so don't worry if you're like, I feel like that's where I struggled a lot, because I'd look at it and be like, I still don't love this, but then when I import it into Vsco, that's when I really feel like I get like exactly what I want. So you're gonna export it. Wow, that took a really long time. And then from there, you're gonna send it to yourself. And then once you've like airdropped it or whatever, you'll just go into Vsco, and I need to go ahead and get there, so let me record this. So you're going to select the photo after you've sent it to yourself, and then you're gonna click on, I already have mine set up this way because it's like easier for me since I know what I like, but I'm gonna click on M5, and I have it set at 6.4, but you can drag it around if you want to, but that's just what I figured out that I liked best. And then I also have the exposure turned down to 4, the contrast turned up to 7. There we go. So we're gonna click on M5 and then just drag that around a little bit. I usually have it on 6.4, but you can do whatever you like. And then just save that. Oh, and I forgot to say that I also play around with the exposure, the contrast, the temperature, sharpen, and clarity, and you can set that all up yourself if you want to record something. That's just the best way to do it because Vsco allows you to have it set up that way. And then I'm gonna take that photo again, and go back in, and I'm gonna add C1 this time, and that just gives it a little bit more of like an orange pop. And then I'm gonna straighten it out a little bit just because it's not as even as I feel it needs to be, up to par. And then just crop it to 4.5 because that's what Instagram like wants you to use. So it's just best if you already have it like ready to go, and then you just save it, and then that's it. So like I said, it's definitely like you have to kind of gear it towards yourself. Like I wouldn't say that like this would work for everyone else because I kind of had to play around with it to figure out what worked with my hair, like what worked with my skin, because I know people that can use Teza 2 or Teza 1 or the other one, Cole, that she sells, and just add it and it looks amazing and they don't have to edit it at all. But I have to play around with it. It's definitely not a one size fits all for me. So anyways, if this is something that you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up, as cheesy as that sounds, and subscribe, I guess. That'd be cool. I don't really know how this works. But yeah, so I'm thinking about making other videos in the future if this one helped you at all. If you'd like for me to show you other ways that I edit photos or how I do my Insta stories or anything, then definitely comment and let me know that, whether it be on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. But yep, that's basically it. So bye, thanks for watching.